The race to 5G is on, and the battle for talent is getting fierce. Welcome to 5G Talent Talk with Carrie Charles, a podcast dedicated to helping you face the future workforce head on. Navigate this challenging talent landscape with innovative strategies to attract, retain, and engage people in this new world of work. Only here on 5G Talent Talk with Carrie Charles, CEO of Broadstaff Talent Solutions.
Hi, and thanks for joining me today on 5G Talent Talk. I'm so glad you are here. We have a treat for you. Today, my guest is Trent Edwards. He is the president of Mears Broadband. Trent, thanks for joining me today.
Carrie, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Yes, it's so great to be here with you. I remember when we talked about this a few months ago, and I just I've always heard so much about you as a leader, and especially from your team. So I'm excited to dive right into this.
Well, I hope I don't let you down.
You won't. So, well, let's start out by talking, a little bit about you and how you got here. How did you get to your seat? Tell me about your journey.
Well, if you've heard any of the other things that I've been on, I absolutely did not plan being in telecom. But, I had a fraternity brother in college, and his dad was in the telecom industry. And I took a summer job climbing telephone poles in Memphis, Tennessee. And that led into, that was with a company called NextLink. For all the old timers, NextLink was who one of Craig McCall's companies back in the C-Leg days that became XO Communications, and through just kind of fell in love with it. What we were doing, it was exciting. Technology, all the dynamics of what we do, and climbed up through leadership within XO Communications on the operator side, managing large scale networks, the ops and engineering side of the business. And then a good friend of mine had asked me to come over to the dark side, the contractor side, which I went to work and ran their U.S. business. And it was, now I'm confident enough to say that, that was a different change, an absolute change, going from, quite frankly, running a cost center business to running a true P&L and all the dynamics of managing that on the contractor side, living and dying by the service dollar. And so it really was infectious, and what's the word?
All of it.
That's my Arkansas public education coming out. But, I really enjoyed it, and I was lucky enough to be successful in that, and spent 5 years with them, and ultimately joined Mears. Mears is a Quanta company. And I describe Mears as the underground part of Quanta. It's really not, but it's the easiest way to do it, because Mears is really focused on the underground electric, the oil fields, gas distribution, and all the components of that. Quanta was allowed to, they'd sold off their telecom assets and were allowed to re-enter the market through the non-compete period. And, Mears was asked to establish a telecom broadband division, and I was lucky enough to start that and lead that, and here we are today.
So what makes Mears different? I know in conversation with you in the past, you said we're different.
Yeah, I always had, an idea of what construction was, right? And I deal with operators every day, that give us the opportunity to work with them, and the expectations around that. And, I don't want to be, the company that we just come in and, dig holes in the ground, put their facilities in the ground and leave, and that's transactional type relationship. And it's, so when we talk about Mears, it was very important for me to really mean that word partnership and have the opportunity to work with folks that really meant that word partnership. And when I say that, that's the people that work here. That's the people that we get the opportunity to work with. That's the, being able to discuss the best way to do it. Because in construction, every day something goes wrong. It's just the nature of the business, and we manage risk. So be able to have those conversations and do that. And I say all that because being different is just that, right? It's innovation, it's strategic, it's thinking about things in a different way and a different approach from a contract level, from a pricing level, continuously involving that, continuously moving people and understanding how that works. And that's more healthy for a contractor, in my opinion, and it's more healthy with the relationship of a customer and a contractor. I always say we live and die by the service dollar, and we do. And I don't apologize for the little amount of money we make. But we don't make a lot of money. Contractors don't make a lot of money. So, it's just better to have that mindset, not only within your people, internal, but with your customers. And, and once that trust is developed and, that it's proven that we are different and we will think different and we will work with you differently, it's been very successful. And, I always try to articulate that, and it's very difficult, but we will always be different than the run-of-the-mill contractor.
I think you said, you just said something so powerful, and that's trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that right there says it all, right?
And and trust is earned, not given.
Yes.
And, when we sit and talk with people, sometimes we have hard conversations with customers like, hey, you just got to trust me, and I know that when we say that, and they actually do, that I have to deliver. There's no going back from that. And, that is extremely what we live and die by. We do what we say.
Well, what's it like to work for Mears? And, why do people come to Mears and stay?
Well, I think it's just us, number one. I was in a very lucky position that a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do. I was employee one, and was able to, pick a very diverse group of people to be on the leadership team. And diverse is many things, right? It's the fundamental definition of diverse, but also diverse thinking, diverse approaches to things, of diverse backgrounds. And, this is a very diverse group of people, a very different group of people. I like that. I like that they challenge me. I like that I can challenge them. I like that we can have a conversation and everybody has different emotions around what's important to them. Right. And, then on the people side, we really try to make, our leadership emotional, if that makes sense. Meet them where they are and be very active and visible, with them. Like we don't have a lot of org charts. You don't hear a lot of nonsense about, who's in the top box, who's in the second box, titles, all this stuff that so many people have egos and feel accomplished by. I mean, everybody knows who I am within this organization. Everybody knows who the operations leader are within this organization. We don't need to, just constantly discuss that. The people that are in the top box in this organization are the people in the field doing the work every day. And, turn the org chart upside down. And that is what we try to do. Do we do it perfect? Hell no. And do people get mad? Absolutely. Do I get mad? Absolutely. But we wake up every morning with that intention. The work, and we need to be in the field. The work's in the field, and try to, absolutely reciprocate that to all that they do.
Man, I just got chills when you said that. The most important people in the company are in the field, and that's what a powerful way of looking at your business.
And it's you hear so many people say that, right? All the leaders get on and say all kinds of quotes they've read in a book. I never thought I would be here. I never thought I would do anything like that. I do conference calls and emails. That's what I do. But they're the backbone of this company. And like I said, we don't have org charts. I mean, we have to, right? But the most important part of being a leader is having, is first of all, having somebody that'll follow you, or who the hell you're going to lead, right? So.
Very true. Very true. Let's look at this year, 2024. We're sitting here, January 2024. What are your ideas about opportunities that are ahead in our industry? I mean, we've got BEAD funding coming. My goodness, there's just so much chatter out there. Where are you seeing the opportunities?
Man, there is so much chatter, to use your word, about what's going to happen. The reality is, I don't think we know. I don't think anybody knows how this money's going to be spent, or how it's going to be deployed, the expectations around it holistically, right? So I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and we're looking forward to it, and we're planning for it. You just saw the announcement of, Mears Broadband was part of the Mears group of companies. We've spun out as our own LLC that gives us the freedom to make those changes and be nimble enough to address all of the expectations that potentially coming with the money, the government money, government programs that are coming up for the rural expansion, the great build ahead of us, right? We're not, obviously we're going to be on the forefront of that. Again, talking about being different, we've hired a lot of, Heather Gold, as you guys know, Heather, and has been a longtime friend of mine, and her expertise in that arena, and understanding all that process, all of our business development fronts, really understanding that process. But, I'm also, I have to focus on traditional business and kind of see where that's going. But we're planning on continuing to grow both fronts. Absolutely. With the private money that's being invested and the public money that's being invested. And I think that you'd be a fool to not consider that and be involved in that. We're also thinking about 10 years ahead too. What opportunities are out there? What do we do? What do we need to do? Because this will, I'm 52 years old, so this will be the last giant telecom build I'll see. Hopefully I'm retired or dead.
You never know. You're young.
But, this is, so we're thinking about all the future too.
So let's talk workforce. I know there's still challenges that we're facing. I mean, we're going to be facing massive challenges, right? As we build out this broadband. And we need new people in the industry, obviously. And there's programs, and there's just so much going on to train, retrain, upskill, skill. How can we bring new people into the industry? I mean, any ideas here?
Yeah. I mean, we're, I always say, like, if somebody tells you they have people, they either are extremely terrible at what they do, or they're lying to you. So, it's something that is always on my mind. Now we have the traditional programs, the military programs that we're involved in, all of our training center that we have, which is a differentiator than a lot of my competitors. The traditional paths, right?
Yeah.
But I think that, number one, as a contractor, our job again is to manage risk and cost, right? And so we have to have the guts to hire people proactively that are on the shared cost line, and train them and develop them that have the potential and the ability and want to do this. I think there's a lot of different businesses that align, to managing risk and managing costs, simple, just keep it simple project management, right? Within a lot of industries that can come do this. And I think there's going to be, transition of that. And we have to accept that and train people and give them the ability to do this. This is not rocket science. It's a linear process. It's understanding the sequence of how this work needs to happen. And we have to be, have the guts enough to get these people on proactively and train them without bringing revenue on. And we're looking at a lot of ways to do that in a lot of industries. I'm really evangelizing, a lot of the young. So, there's also a turnover in the industry, right? You have a lot of tenured folks, like myself that will be leaving soon, and you have to have a younger workforce coming in. And this work isn't sexy to them, on the face of it, but we're changing lives. I mean, we really are. There's an opportunity, anybody, I don't have a college degree. I had to work harder than everybody else because I didn't have that college degree. But you get the opportunity to sit in my seat. You get the opportunity to change lives every day. You get the opportunity to make the games better, make the AI better, make telemedicine better. This is the delivery mechanism for the future, and is changing people's life. That's what we do. And, and I'm just evangelizing that as hard as I can to get people in here and making the commitment from a financial standpoint to, understand that I can't just, traditionally we would always just, hire somebody we knew or somebody from our competitor that had that skill set, could hit the ground running, but that's not going to be an option anymore. And we have to be more bold as leaders within this industry.
Couldn't agree more. Our young people need to hear that message, Trent. That's the message. That is.
Yeah. And we really are. I mean, there's no debating that we are not changing lives. What we're doing.
Yes. I couldn't agree more. When we spoke, you said you have a little bit of a different approach to hiring. You've talked about that just a bit. Can you go deeper into that approach?
Well, we look for, an individual that, it fits, just to be transparent, I can go hire anybody, but I am passionate about our culture, right? So when I say that we're different about hiring, it's just like what I previously said. I want an individual that brings a different approach to this business, a different understanding, wants to impact the business, the traditional way of doing this and making things better. And so, we look for that culture match in what we do. And, that culture is, it's pretty simple, work hard, be bold, get shit done,
I love it.
Really, and you've seen those kind of things said, but like I want people that are confident and can be bold in their decisions, be bold in doing things different, be bold in transitioning from historical way of approaching. And, I want them to prove that in every day and everything that they do. We've got to have fun. Work is work. We don't come here to hang out with each other. I didn't come here this morning, although it's a pleasure. I didn't come here this morning, to do this. We come to work every morning because we, support our families, our lifestyle, our habits, whatever that is. We've got to have fun. We've got to have people that you enjoy working with, and and understand that it's not always good, but there's always a smile or a laugh at some point that'll get us through there. And we live again on the service dollar, so it's safe, quality, productive work in that manner. If I'm safe and I'm doing stuff with quality, I will always make money. And that mindset of being safe and doing stuff with quality is kind of hard to find sometime these days. And I am very passionate about that. I do not want to have a conversation with anybody's wife or husband that they didn't make it home tonight ever. And I don't want to have conversations with customers about how I have to redo something or, navigate that, and ultimately do it right the first time. It's a cliche, but, and those people are out there and they want to make a difference. They want to be bold. They want to be empowered. And we look for those people that want to be empowered and want to take my job. I want everyone to take my job.
So, Trent, you talked about the field staff and how important the field staff is to the company. Do you find that it is that, when you're retaining field staff, right? So do you find that you have to use different strategies than you would use, let's say, with office staff? And then what strategies can you use for retention or to increase your retention rates with your field staff?
Man, that's so hard, because it's, like they're, they are recruited more than anyone, I would say, in this industry today, because that's the people that everybody needs, so, the traditional paths of, money and title and all that is, always needed and accounted for, but, it's bigger than that in my mind. You have to recognize people. You have to make sure that they understand their worth to what you're accomplishing. And also you got to be able to let them go, and like, cause they need to better their lives. And, and we're transparent about that and allow that. And I would say a lot, and by being that way, a lot of them always come back, and it's okay if they come back because maybe they've learned something.
It's a great way to look at it.
But, it's, we really focus on the employees here. We do everything that we can. But I would never hold anybody back from bettering themselves. And that's a difficult thing right now because a lot of people are in dire straits to get people and doing that. And, I'm not going to panic. I want people to be here because they want to be here and want to be here for they're compensated correctly. They're compensated well. And we do compensate people well. They're treated with respect and empowered to do their job and deliver the expectations. But it's difficult.
Yes.
It's difficult. But
yes,
we look at it that way. I really, it sounds arrogant and I apologize, but I think a lot of them will come back.
Transparency, authenticity. That's what I'm hearing right now. And that's what people look for.
Yeah. You want it, like it's I deal, everybody at every level you deal with nonsense.
Yep. You are so right. So who is Trent Edwards as a leader?
Oh man, I don't know. Look, I look at leadership as, it's emotion, right?
Right.
You got to meet people where they're at. You got to put your arms around them, chew them out, or pat them on the back, or understand what's going on with them, and take that time to do that. I've learned a lot more of what not to do than what to do. If fair, I've always been insecure around it, I guess, not having a college degree, I'm not able to speak all the terms and certifications behind somebody's name. I was just always Trent Edwards. So being, being aware of that, I had to work 3 hours longer than someone with a degree in my mind, or I had to come in an hour earlier, or I had to, I was driven by those kind of things. So I just carry that with me. I think, I try to understand, where a person is on their path, and just try to meet them there every day, every time, every interaction. And if that's changed, understand if that's changed, and continue to just stay present where they're at, and, lead from there.
It's inspiring. You and I have that in common. I don't have a college degree either. And I'm very vocal about it because I want people to know what's possible without it. And, but it's just such an inspiration. I feel the exact same way. I always felt an insecurity there, and I had to work harder than everyone else, right? And put in more. And, but it made me a better person. So I identify with that, Trent. That's so inspiring. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
It did. You're spot on. Let's talk about the Mears vision.
Okay.
Where are you going?
Well, I want to be the best. Okay. First and foremost. And I think we're well on our path in 4.5 years. Like, we started this thing, I know a lot of people in the industry, have a lot of relationships, and, to a T, everyone would be like, who in the hell is Mears? Or, what are you doing, Trent? And, to the point we are today where, it's name recognition and brand recognition. And we've had our ups and downs, and we're on a great trajectory. But, my vision is just to impact this world, right? It's, I think there's enough money out there for everybody to get their share of the work. I think that, I don't compete with anybody, which I do, but I in my mind, I don't. I just think that it just doesn't make sense. We should work together. That's that whole part of being different, right? Lose the egos, lose the thinking that you've got to have more than everybody, when there's so much opportunity to cooperate and to really make an impact on what we're doing. So I'm going to lead that charge, and I'm going to evangelize that. And, we're going to impact this industry, and we're going to be able to support what's coming with the question of how are we going to do it today with people, not enough people, and what's the rules and what's the guidelines, and no one knows really, set up assumptions, but we're going to lead the charge on the approach, and, the different way of thinking, and the innovative ways to really pull this off and achieve it. And if we have to lead it, we will, and we're taking that seat.
Inspiring again. And, the authenticity again, and you said emotion, that leaders need to be emotional, have empathy. And I mean, that it's exactly what people want right now. And you are absolutely on the right track. So I know that all of that's going to happen for you. What? I feel it. I got my crystal ball here. I can see it.
We're going we're, hopes, like I say, I hope so, but hope's not a strategy. We're going to die trying. It's an opportunity to, we're approachable. We're going to work with everyone, and we're going to, win our fair share of business and do our part to making this world better.
Yes. Yes. I know there's people listening that are thinking, okay, how can I find out more about Mears, about open jobs that you have? I know that you're hiring right now. Tell us what your website is.
Well, we have a new one. It's through the Quanta page. I know that, on the Mears company through the broadband capabilities. But I believe, since we just January 1st, we became Mears Broadband LLC. And I should know this, but it's mearsbroadband.com, I believe, www.mearsbroadband.com.
There you go. Everything just shifted for you, yes, I know. And so you've probably got 100 balls in the air right now.
No, there's a lot that we're, the team really did a hell of a job making sure we got across the line to transition this 1st of January. But, I should know that, and I do on some piece of paper, but sure, that's it.
Listen, that's what makes you so incredible, Trent, is that you're all about the people. You're just about the people, and and that's it. And I've felt that about you from the moment that I met you, and this episode is really clarifying, that your heart really, and that makes a difference, because it's also your whole team. I've met your leadership team. Everybody feels the same way. Everybody's rowing in the same direction. I'm just impressed with what you've created.
Well, thank you. We don't do everything right. We haven't done right, by everyone. And, but that's life, right? And,
yeah.
But I promise you, now the listeners, like, Mears and the people of Mears, our intentions are true, and we'd love to have you come work with us.
Awesome. There you go. We can call it a day now. So Trent, thanks so much for joining me. This has been a pleasure. I always enjoy talking to you, and I always learn a lot too. And then I walk away just excited and inspired and with a new idea. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I promise you, I'm nothing special. I get an opportunity to lead a bunch of amazing people. So thank you, though. Appreciate it.
Yes, Trent. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to another informative episode of 5G Talent Talk, brought to you by RCR Wireless News, Telecom Careers, and Broadstaff Talent Solutions. As we advance into the future, we promise to bring you the resources you need to navigate this ever-changing landscape of 5G to help you attract, retain, and engage people in this new world of work. To access the show notes or leave a review, visit broadstaffglobal.com. Until next time.